and watching It's a Wonderful Life. For me, that movie is all about faith and hope and love and joy.
And
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the unsung heroes in that movie is Mary. So Mary is the wife of George. And if you think about this particular Mary, who's similar to our Mary, she is the epitome of faith and hope. In the early parts of that movie, there's this old mansion. Like, it looks like the kind I used to break. Oh, did I just say break into? Break into when I was a kid. Yes, it's true. I probably deserve way more coal in my stocking than I got. But there's this old mansion, dilapidated, fallen down, and the kids walk by and try to throw a rock and find a window that hadn't been broken out yet. And they're looking at this house, and George says, I wouldn't live in that house if I was a ghost. But Mary is able to see past the circumstances. She's able to see past what it looks like with our human eyes to the possibilities. And I love what she says. It's full of romance, that old place. She says with a smile warming her face, I'd like to live in it. When she looked at the house, she didn't see the decrepit mess it had become. What she did see was its potential. She didn't dwell on its downtrodden past, but instead she imagined how grand it one day could be. She dreamed of its glorious future. That is the pure definition of faith. You know, in Hebrews 11:1, we read, faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not yet seen. She saw beyond that house to the home that it could be. And her hope paid off, because in the end, they live in that home. In fact, one of my favorite scenes in that movie comes when the stock market crashes and everybody panics, right? We've all been in those moments when the checkbook has $1 in it, you know? Or the gas price soars to over $3 and, right? We get that panic in us, that not enoughness in us. And there's a run on the bank. And in faith, Mary offers up her money for their honeymoon. They just got married, and she offers all of their cash to keep the bank open, and the bank stays open. And at the end of the day, the taxi driver takes George to his new home, which is in the mansion that's dilapidated and leaky, and it has the knob on the stairway that always falls off. But through her faith and her hope, she has transformed that mansion into a beautiful bridal suite. How many circumstances in our lives could be transformed if we had enough faith? If we had enough faith to know that what we see is not the truth of it, that what we're experiencing is only temporary. If we had the faith to know that there's something better just beyond our sight, how much different our experience would be, how much different our world would be. My mother, knowing that I love that movie, gave me an article out of the Guidepost. And I love the article so much that I actually bought the book the next year. It's called 52 Little Lessons from It's a Wonderful Life. And it's all about the characters, and so guess what you get to hear about for the next 4 weeks? So you might want to go rent the movie as your homework, so you can keep up, right? In it, the author writes, Mary's lesson for us all is to see and appreciate all we have in our midst. And with the power of our faith, to make it more than anyone else could have imagined. to transform the world through the power of our faith. You know, I know that that's difficult. When we turn on the news and we hear that 3 people down the street from us were murdered. I know that it's difficult to see that hope when we see a house fire on the news. When we open up the paper and we hear about this country and discontent, and we hear about this island ravaged by hurricanes. I know that it's difficult when we live in a world where there is so much strife, so much divisiveness right now. We live in a world of hurting people, where there's hunger and there's homelessness and there is loneliness and there is grief. I know that. But I also know that love bears all things. I know that. I know that that spirit of Christmas is already in us each and every day. And I know that that spirit has the power to help us rise above. And I know that that spirit ignites in us the ability to change the world and to create hope. To create a world of hope. The Christmas lights, the Christmas carols, the Christmas movies, they are all reminders of who we really are. You see, I believe that we really are all compassionate. I really believe that we all have within us a generous spirit. I all believe that in all of us, there's love. And now, more than ever, the world needs us to shine our light. The world needs us to have faith in a better day. To have faith that through the power of love, all things can be made new. And so, as you listen to the carols, as you see the lights, don't just feel the hope. Be the hope that the world needs with infinite love and gratitude. Namaste.
Purposely put 2 songs together for when we gather the offering, which will go there. And they're 2 danceable songs. She sometimes kids about, dance down. And the first time we did that, I remember one of the musicians joined hands with me and then started dancing with me, and then he twirled me around. Got up to there, and I twirled him around. And after I got to know his wife better, she forgave me.
So from our Sunday Connection Hour to our classes of E-Blast, if you want to find out more about us, there is a connection card in the pew in front of you, and you can fill that out and drop that in the offering basket. You can also write prayer requests on there as well. I read those every week. I hold those names in prayer, and then we hold them together in prayer on Sundays. Prosperity is one of the foundational teachings of unity. And today we celebrate the abundance that flows to us, through us, and from us by giving where we are spiritually fed. So I'm going to ask you at this time to take your gifts in your hands. And I will repeat the blessing, and you can repeat it after me. divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and thankful. And I think because we have the choir up here, so like walking up is going to be disastrous. I'm just going to take the basket and I'm going to pass the basket. So you can see me dance down the aisles in my beautiful basket.
Okay, it's perfect Christmas night.
You can dance in your seat if you want. having spiritual sandwiches where we all circle up. We're going to close from our pews. But first, everybody put your hands out. And if you're from this community, you can say the blessing with me. We love you. We bless you.
We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. We love you just the way you are.
We are so grateful to have them with us. So they're going to sing us out, but before they do it, we're going to put the final blessing on the gifts, and we're going to do just a couple of quick announcements. Whew, all right, close our eyes. We bless these gifts, knowing that we are abundantly blessed, that those who give are never poor, but are always rich in many, many, many ways. We give thanks for the Christmas spirit that is alive in us, that allows us to bless others and to bring hope to this community and to communities all around us. And so it is, amen.
Amen.
So we have a wonderful feast for you downstairs, so please stay. Join us downstairs for a meal. There was a lost hearing aid found in the women's bathroom. So everybody, check your ears. And if something is missing, it's Pat's. Nice Hall has it. We have a variety of activities. They're on the back of the bulletin, so you can look at the activities we have during the week. This is the most important announcement at all. Next Sunday, where will we meet?
Downstairs.
All right, so if you know somebody that doesn't read the back of their bulletin, or doesn't pay attention to their e-blast, or is tuned out by the time I get to this part of the service, make sure that you tell them that next week will be
Downstairs.
All right, we're going to, from now until hopefully Easter morning, we will be meeting, hopefully Easter morning, that's the goal I'm setting. We will be downstairs while our beautiful sanctuary is refurbished, renovated, redecorated, everything. So please make sure that you bless this space as you leave it, because it won't look like this the next time that you see it. It will look very differently. But we will be meeting downstairs for the next 3 or 4 months. So we invite you to join us downstairs in that new space that we're creating to use temporarily. All right, choir.
Would you go ahead and sit down? Because this is a special blessing that I wanted us to do. First of all, I want to say I'm glad Mary Fern felt well enough to come today. And I don't know if you can see her out there if you're sitting. Joni has gone through some horrendous operations recently, and I saw her shortly after, and she could barely move from the pain. She is doing so well, and I loaned her my comfortable wheelchair that I don't use anymore.
Yay.
And we're so glad to have you here, Joni, for this. Some of you may know, and you may have caught on when you saw this, and when you saw music that was enlarged 150 times, whatever. Just in the last couple of months, my eyesight has gotten worse. My mobility is getting stronger, and I'm moving better, but I can't read anymore. I can't read the notes. I can't read the words. And so I've decided this is the last time that I'm directing a choir. And if any of you know choir directors, either at school or at church, let them know, give them my phone number, and let them know that they can have, I'm going to clean out 6 file cabinets of music, Christmas and spring and others, and we've got 4 of them that are funny things that I think the festival choir did. But I'm using this time not to mourn the loss of being a choir director for 60 years, but it's like Glenda talked about faith. I'm building my faith stronger about the future, and I'm not worried about the future like I used to be. when I thought I wouldn't be able to direct because of pain. I don't have the pain anymore, but I look on it as a new chapter, a new transition in my life. I don't know what my life is going to be like, but I know it's going to be joy-filled because I'm not fighting the transition. I'm not mourning it or feeling like this is bittersweet. This is just plain sweet for me today. I have so enjoyed it. And on one note, I want you to know that many of you prayed for me during the last 3 years with the cancer and the 2 operations and everything. And you were largely responsible for my positive attitude. I didn't know it, but you were praying for me and uplifting me, and that helped me to get well. And it helped me to understand if I did that once, I can do it again. And so this song is one that Mary Lee had given me after she died. And I was at a sight reading session, and I couldn't even sing it because the words touched me so much. And it was like she was singing it to me. And then I realized I could take out a little bit of the middle so that my choirs could sing it. So we'd like to sing that for you today. We'd like you to think of somebody you love that loves you back. It could be somebody in your present life. It could be grandchildren. It could be a pet. It could be someone who's gone on, but you can still love them. And if you get in touch with that, you can feel their love coming back. So listen to the words carefully. There is none like you. Oh yeah, I'm the one that starts it. I really didn't want to do that.
Oh, notice the paper.
Music all over like every day. But it's beautiful.
I don't think
It's a shoebox.
High heels.
I wondered why you. My thought was, Luann touched so much by it, she has to leave. I hate that big one. Oh my God. It's like the gift that I'm going to be giving each of these choir members. It's so fastened together. Well, it's not shoes, they're not big enough. Nobody can fit it. Can you read that for me?
I sure can. Pat, thank you for all your dedication and love to our choir. There is none like you.
Oh.
The celebration singers. There's more.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's beautiful.